Alright, we're out here on the Fox, checking out a couple spots. Haven't fished in a long time. We kind of got to take what we can get right now. Water's super shallow, so I don't know how it's going to be, but this used to be a good spot. See if anything's hanging around in here. Jig came up clean, so that's a good sign. I'm trying to get into this flowing water here. Is that a guy in the water way over there? Off to the side in the weeds. The heck did I just hook? Something big. It's snagged. We snagged the quillback here. It came off. I don't know if you guys saw that or not. Snagged the top of a quillback right in the quill. Too bad I couldn't get that in. That was probably like maybe like a 5-pound or so fish. That's kind of a good sign though for this area that there's fish in here. That's not what we're looking for though. Looking for some nice smallies or a walleye or something. I want to try and get over to this side over here where there's that little island along that edge there. It's usually a good area. Just felt something. I don't know if it was a nibble or if I bounced off something. Trying to get out into the middle into this moving water here. The wind's blowing to my right here, so it's kind of difficult. Those geese are really going at it. Picking up a little weeds, but not too bad. If we can get out into the middle there, into that moving water, where there might be a little depth, could be something hanging out there. Once you get in close here, gets shallow and you start picking up the weeds and stuff. Try closer to the bridge here. I don't really have shoes that I can walk in the water right now, but try to get close here. That guy over there is up. He's pretty deep, standing pretty deep in the water. I don't remember if there were any snags out here around this bridge or not. Could be, you know, because the bridge fell apart, so could be snags down there. Got some cranes around. You see, a good spot to fish would really be around all that rubbish over there and those fallen trees and stuff that got stuck at the collapsed bridge here. There's probably some little fish in here. Got our shoe a little wet, but I don't really want to walk in here with these shoes. Comes some geese riding the current. So what I'll probably do is try this area, see if I can get on that island area over there, and then maybe come back here and go down and see if there's anything in these rapids down here on the other side of the bridge. I think we just had a nibble out there because there's a area out there where there's a lot of water going in a lot of different directions out there from the main flow, and then you got this water coming around this corner here and this little inlet here coming out. So that creates kind of a pocket in here. I think we might just be getting little nibbles from smaller fish or something. See if we can get something, grab it. Well, this water is not very deep, so but I wouldn't be crossing that bridge, because that middle section you're pretty much climbing over beams and stuff. You could probably make it. I'd like to know what that was. It was grabbing my jig a little bit. I think I crossed that bridge when it was partially collapsed, when there was still like footing, but now it's pretty much demolished. Just had something either hit or we snagged on something, because I had a little pull. We could just be snagging those quillbacks out there. because they like to ride that current. I could tell that wasn't a bite that I had that one snag though, because it was just kind of on there all of a sudden. Wasn't a strike or anything. And we just had something, I think we just had something grab it. They just don't seem to want to get hold of it. Normally what makes this area good is because you have this abandoned mill thing here, whatever. Water's usually higher in here, but you have a lot of bait fish in here, bluegills and crappies and stuff. So that's going to attract the bigger fish out into here to try and snatch those up. Probably do better with something with a little more movement to it to attract, to kind of trigger something in this dirty water. Just trying different angles and stuff. Let's see if we can get to our little island in there. I don't know if we're going to be able to get to it though, because there's kind of a like a water passageway that goes through there, and I might not be able to cross it because I'm not walking in the water right now. Alright, so we're out a little further down from that bridge, trying this little inlet in here. It's very shallow though, but there could be something in here. Something in here, maybe looking for a free meal if there's any bluegills or little fish in this kind of murky area right here. I think we're going to try and get across, see if we can get across this little inlet right here. Looks like we can. We're going to go for that. I don't really want to drag my bike through this muck. Let's see if we can get around here. There's a frog right there. It's always good. So we might have to take a couple steps in here. Alright, we made it to our island. We got our guy coming towards us that was fishing. He's basically walking the river. It's a good thing to do. If you got some waders, to get some good access to a lot of spots. It's just like fishing these shoreline edges here, where you kind of see the water flowing by. See if we can get something to chase. Just hanging out in this area here. But this is a better direction to fish in, though, because you can toss it and then drift it and pull it against the current. The fish are more apt to chase it when you're doing that. So it looks more like a minnow swimming against the current. Got some weeds in here. I'd like to get something out of here. Again, you're always trying to keep that jig up so it's not getting dragged through the weeds in the current. Looks like we caught some weeds right away, because they came off. Because whatever's on this, getting pushed, weeds getting dragged downstream, you're going to catch onto those. It'd be better here if we had more, if the water was deeper, though. Anytime you can kind of run a jig through a little bit of rapids or something is really a good option. Doesn't really seem like anything is around right now, except for that quillback. Those things are always going to be around in these kind of areas. But this area here is not really looking all that promising because it's just so shallow. And of course you got the nice obstruction here, the bridge, and that creates pockets and stuff for fish. You don't get very long though until you start hitting those weeds. I think I'm going to head over below the bridge there, below where he's at, where all those rapids are at, even though it's probably shallow over there. There's rapids over there. Looks like he got a little bass over there that fell off. Alright, so we're below this bridge now. So we got some nice rapids here. Then we got our main flow out there in the middle. I don't know how deep it is, but this is pretty much a nice classic area to get some smallies and stuff. Zipping around in this water here. Water's pretty clean. I don't have shoes today that I want to walk in the water with, so I'm gonna have to try and reach some spots out there. See if there's any depth out there that I can run through. I'm bouncing off a lot of rocks in here. Weeds. There just isn't enough depth here to work with, really. Try throwing it up a little higher. And we cut somebody's line. Looks like broken line hanging out there. I can't tell if that center section is actually shallow or what. It looks like it could just be super shallow. Doesn't really give you much to work with. No, not really. Not really what we're looking for here. Just don't have any depth at all. Unless something will grab it up here right by the bridge before it gets pulled down into the shallow water. It's really our only shot. See what it looks like a little further down here by this concrete thing. Maybe we can get some depth over here, even though the rapids kind of die down. Just trying to find a little bit of depth here for some fish to be hanging out in. It's just really shallow in these rapids here, so you can probably see the bottom if you're up on that bridge. It might only be like a foot deep. Trying to get beyond the rapids there and then pull it through there, but picking up a lot of weeds. It's just too shallow. Not really much you can do here. Well, I think we've done pretty much everything we can do here, so if we don't get some depth in this river, gotta get some water. If we don't get some depth in this river. Then I heard something about the Fox River being declared like some kind of nature protected nature reserve or something. So I don't know what's going to happen to fishing, if they're going to try and stop you from fishing in certain areas, or I don't know what's going to happen with that. There's a nice flat rock right there. I guess we can probably wrap it up though, because I think I've breathed in enough of that smoke that we're getting from Canada for today. It's not as bad as it was yesterday, but it still looks hazy everywhere you look, just not as thick. So we're gonna have to try and sneak up that edge there and get ourselves out of here.